The summary starts with Sue sitting in a nightclub drinking a mojito, and her eyes haven't left the handsome guy sitting at the bar drinking. God save us. Something yellow, she says. Who would believe that the only moon coming to talk to himself here every day is Ju, the president of Shishu Company, the biggest company in the country? Money isn't everything, really, but since we are talking about money, I must pick him up as soon as possible, marry him, and get rid of my parents' nagging. As for our handsome hero who is being watched, he was sitting there focused on her, saying he comes specifically every day just to see her, and that she surely comes here to drink, to forget her worries. And he can't believe he found her after leaving her 10 years ago. Later, we learn that Sue agreed with an extra to come and act like a bad boy and bother her at the bar, but he turned out to be a bit slow and went to do the act near the bathroom. In the end, the result was the same, and Ju got up and hit him. So the girl took advantage of what happened, acted drunk, fell on him like that, told him to take her to a hotel room, and gave him the key. He took her up and found her telling him that her boyfriend and her sister cheated on her on this same bed, and that it's normal for her to cheat on her boyfriend too. She shed a couple of tears and dragged him into things that don't concern us. And what happened, happened. In the morning, Ju woke up sleeping far away from her after having a nightmare of himself as a child running in a tea farm with someone chasing him. He was very shaken by the nightmare. She woke up, understood what happened between them, and told him, "We'll consider that nothing happened." He told her, "No, by God, Sue, there is no such thing." She tried to give him money, but he told her, "No, I don't want anything but you." She heard these two words and ran out of the room. But our boy thought he was the smartest of his siblings when he found she dropped her ID card and found out her address from it. It didn't cross his mind for a moment that she might be the one who dropped the ID on purpose so he would look for her. And of course, now you are asking yourselves, I wonder where Ju knows her from. Allow me to tell you that he was kidnapped when he was little and she was the one who saved him. And ever since then he owes her a favor, and his eye is now on her boyfriend Jin, who cheated on her with her sister. Speaking of Jin, who is, by the way, Ju's cousin Sue, returned home to find Jin and her sister sitting together acting like lovebirds. She confronted them with the photos she took of them in front of her dad, but she found him saying, "Shame on you, girl. Your fiancé and your sister are honorable," and he also asked her to apologize to them. When she refused, Jin got sulky and left upset. Her father shook her and told her she must marry someone from the Shishu Company family. She told him, "Dad, isn't it enough that you married one of them and brought me a stepmother?" "Here," her stepmother yelled. So the man slapped Sue to please his wife. As for Ju, he arrived at his company, which he had been away from for a while, and asked his assistant to find out everything about Jin's work. And he won't let him get away with it because the person who bothers the girl he loves while he is alive hasn't been born yet. Speaking of Sue, she went into her room to pack her clothes and sat looking at a picture of her and her mom with a third face cut out. She remembered her dad saying that although their financial level isn't like before, it's enough that he is with his daughter and wife. She felt her mom chose wrong and that all men are scumbags. At that moment, her sister entered and kept mocking her mom and taking her side of the father's anger. She kept telling Sue that she is a jinx, a bad omen, and that she lost her boyfriend from her own hands, which is why he fell in love with her instead. She admitted to her that they had been fooling her for quite a while, but Sue told her, "No, my dear, I actually knew. That's why I left him entirely for you, so enjoy him." Then she left the house and walked away. But the wheel of her suitcase broke in the street, and she didn't know what else could happen to complete the day. Suddenly, she found Ju in front of her after he styled his hair down. We all lost our composure, and she felt she won and brought him to her feet. She played dumb and asked him, "How did you know my address?" He told her, "You dropped your ID, and I found it. Come take it from the car, and I'll give you a ride while we're at it." She was very surprised he was driving a beat-up car, even though he is a rich man and son of a rich man. But it didn't cross her mind that he might be intentionally driving a regular car and wearing simple clothes, because she told him yesterday she hates rich people, starting with her boyfriend, who is no longer her boyfriend. She was just thinking whether to go with him or not, but she found his car moving on its own because it was so broken and was about to hit someone. Ju ran to him and she ran to drive the car to stop it. Thank God, fate was kind and nothing happened to the man. But when Ju got in the car, she asked him, "How did you risk your life like that for someone you don't know?" He told her, "Oh, Oh, actually, I'm very chivalrous. Do you like me? Or what do you think? She told him. Honestly, I see a moon. Then she focused and saw a scar on his neck, and the boy suddenly felt he was in danger from her suspicious looks and was relieved when she moved away and changed the subject, asking about the ID. He told her, oh, I forgot it at home. She told him, you are doing this little act to take me to your house and you're about to tell me mom is sick and wants to see you. He told her, no, I swear, never. She said, okay, since you swore. When they arrived at the house, she found it simple and nice, so she asked him what he works as. He told her, electrician, and basically, he has never changed a light bulb in his life, and kept telling her he is unemployed right now and looking for work, and that this house belongs to his friend, meaning his situation is bad. She said, oh Lord, did his family disown him or what? And felt her luck was very bad because even the rich guy she set her eyes on turned out to be broke. But it's okay. Beauty like this can't be left alone, and our girl appreciates a handsome face. Anyway, she told him, give me the ID so I can leave. After he gave it to her, he said, let's go to the cinema? She said, no, let's say goodbye. She was about to leave, so he offered her to live in the house because he saw that she and her family weren't getting along well and she couldn't find a place to run away to. She told him, mind your own business, smart boy, and forget anything in your head. He told her that if she stayed in the house, he would leave and let her be comfortable and rent any miserable place to live in. She told him, no, I wouldn't accept that. We can stay here together, but you will honor the sofa. Thank God they reached an agreement. Speaking of agreements, let's go back in time a week ago, and we'll find Sue listening to her father begging Jin to marry her as soon as possible because the girl is already grown up. Plus, he wants them to be a big force against his cousin Ju, who is returning from abroad. That's why Sue is focusing on Ju because he is the heir to the company and an easy target, and through him, she can enter the company and investigate her mother's accident which cost her life and was caused by their company. So it turns out Sue didn't just want any rich man, no, she wants Ju specifically. We learn later that Ju focused on his cousin and dug up his history, so when he entered and found them blaming him for sticking his nose in the work, he showed him everything with documents and told him he is the one ruining the company with his failed decisions. Jin went to buy Sue's stepmother, crying to her, but he found her telling him, wake up, or Ju will take all the employees to his side and you must stop him. Back at the house, the power went out on them, and the fault was from their side. She told him, do your job, Mr. Engineer. He told her, sorry, my hand hasn't been working for a long time. She found he wouldn't know how to do anything, so she helped him, and it turned out a wire needed changing. He went to buy it, and at that time, she went after him and saw his car, which is bigger than their family's reception hall, and understood he is rich and tricking her. She said, it's impossible he is pretending to be poor because I hate rich people. Then our boy returned, reading how to install the wire and installed it in slow motion until Sue reached her limit and asked him, what do you really work as, buddy? In the middle of her speech, she said a sentence that reminded him of the day he was kidnapped and the beating he took, so his stomach suddenly hurt and he got very sick and went to get medicine. In the middle of all this, he told her he prepared dinner for her and hoped she would eat, but our girl brought wine and was enjoying herself, thinking she is the one in control and taking him for a ride, and clearly the wine did its job, and she woke up the next day to a +18 dream, starring Mr. Ju, of course. She felt his presence wasn't good for her subconscious. As soon as she opened her eyes, he told her, your mother-in-law loves you, and turned out he made her a solid breakfast. At that time, Sue decided to push him to the limit and see how long he would keep pretending to be poor, to the point that he told her he had a job interview and made his secretary video call him in front of her, pretending to be the company manager. Plus, they were talking about rich people, and she told him not all rich people are bad, so he felt there was a chance. If he told her the truth, she would consider him one of the good ones. The next day, Sue found out from her friend that her sister Leon is going around talking about her everywhere, so she pulled a prank on her and Jin, gathering them both in a hotel room and gathering all the company girls on them, exposing them completely. Sue fought with her sister and returned home with a swollen face. Ju worried about her, put water on it, and told her to rest at home and no work. Sir, I remind you she was hit in the face, not 3 months pregnant. Anyway, the sitting didn't end very well, and Sue told him that if he takes care of her today, tomorrow he will get bored and leave like all men. So our boy got very heated and went down to meet Jin at the company at 2 a.m. and offered him a percentage of his shares in the company. Jin of course believed it and asked him about the return, but he didn't catch the answer because a woman named Jian entered suddenly and ruined the deal. As soon as Jin left, she grabbed Ju and told him, God punish you, you are going to waste your name for a woman. And, love is strange. Who understands it really? When they left the company, Jian told him he came back for his right and his company, not to sacrifice them for illusions. When she asked him about his relationship with Sue, he told her, there is nothing between us. So Jian tells him she is his only ally, and he should focus on what's important and put aside any trivialities. As for Jin, he arrived at the company the next day and found his video with Lian leaked. When Jian confronted him in the manager's meeting, he told her it was fabricated and someone intended to bring him down, and that he would bring his girlfriend to the company party and prove to everyone he isn't a cheater. At this time, Sue's father was emotionally blackmailing her, saying he would throw himself in the sea if she didn't say her boyfriend is faithful and never cheated on her because he cancelled all his work with him and wants to win him back. When she returned home, Ju put ointment on her wound, so she asked him if he met a girl at work or something. He told her he is single and never thought of anyone but her. On the day of the party, Ju tried to hide his face as soon as he found her entering with Jin. Then he watched him telling people he brought his girlfriend specifically to testify that the video is fake. He found her saying she loves someone kind, brave, nice, handsome, knows how to cook, and top of the class in the 7 decisions, and he is the one she will marry. So he whispered in her ear and said, who told you I would marry you anyway? She opened him up in front of people, saying he is indeed dating her sister, and she didn't mean him, she meant Ju. She looked at him as if saying, I know your truth. All the people kept calling her crazy and looking at their masters. Ju came and kissed her in front of them very normally, giving them all a cultural shock, except her father was very happy because he approves of any rich groom, and that's it. And Ju didn't stop there. He also exposed Jin's deeds in the company to the point that he fainted and found no one to carry him. When they returned home, she told him he lied to her for a year and should have told her his truth, not let her find out on her own. He told her he was afraid she would distance herself from him when she knew he was rich, and he loves her and doesn't want to lose her, telling her to trust him. She told him, you believed I love you or what? I said that just to get rid of Dad's nagging and not marry Jin. Here Ju felt like the world poured cologne on his wound. While Sue went out with her friend and told her that Ju is now wrapped around her finger, Ju was actually preparing the ring to propose to her. He kept remembering the day she saved him from the gang and made a vow to himself to protect her like she protected him back then. Indeed, when she arrives and sees what Ju has done and how chic he looks, she tells him, hold on a second buddy, are you really going to propose? He told her, yes, because I love you and I know that you also love me despite the trauma you have, and I promise you I won't be like your cheating ex. She agreed immediately because she didn't have time to waste, thinking to herself that marrying him would let her achieve her goal easily because he told her he would hire her as a secretary with him. Thus, she can investigate her mom's death. Just between us, I feel bad for this guy. Anyway, he took her to choose a wedding dress, and she kept stomping her feet on the ground because she didn't want to wear a white dress at the wedding. She didn't calm down until she found a black dress she liked, and that's the one she'll get married in. May it be the last of sorrows, my dear artist, but Madame Ghada Abdelrazik did it before you. Just so you know. Then we finished with the dress and entered the photo session. They took a solid wedding photo titled Ahmed and Samia Love Forever, and congratulations to the newlyweds. One day, Ju went to work early and she stayed home alone. An interior decor engineer came to her, asking if the house design turned out as Ju wanted. She didn't quite get his meaning until he showed her the design. She was shocked when she found it was the design she had drawn when she was kidnapped with the boy, telling him she wished to live in a house like this when she grew up. So she talks to her friend and tells her that Ju turned out to be the boy she was kidnapped with. We learn then that when they tried to escape and ran into the street, they found her mom, but unfortunately, a car hit her. Ju left her alone and ran away. Since then, she described him as a traitor even if he was a child. Of course, her friend didn't like this and thought she was being too hard on him because both were children. As for Sue, she decided not to tell him she busted him because it looks like she fell into the hole she dug for him. She will continue her plan normally and execute her revenge on him. When she started going with him to the company, she entered his office and kept searching it. She found his stamp, so Jian caught her and took it from her. Then when Ju came, Jian left after warning her not to play with what doesn't concern her. She told Ju she didn't mean to take the stamp, so he took it and stamped her hand with it, telling her that they are one and anything of his is hers too. As for Jian, Sue's stepmother got a hold of her and riled her up against Ju, telling her he already left her and got married, and there's no need to stay loyal to him. Better to look out for her own interests. When Sue went out to sit at her desk, she found her chair broken. She wanted Ju to change it for her, so her colleague told her, "Who do you think you are, sweetie, for the manager to come himself to change the chair for you?" But the sweetie actually called the manager, and he came and changed the chair for her, shocking everyone present. She held her head high in the company from day one until Jin came to rain on her parade, telling her that her husband was involved with Jian before, so don't dream that this marriage will last. At night, Jian found out that Sue accessed the system from Ju's computer and looked at old documents. We learn later that they are documents stating that Ju's father paid money to close her mother's accident case. So Jian goes to the company the next day and tells Ju to watch out for his wife because it looks like she's up to no good. But our boy objected and told her, "Speak about my wife nicely," and never believed she could plot against him until his condition acted up and he got sick again. Jian ran to get him medicine and wipe his sweat. At that moment, Sue walked in on them and told them, "Sorry, looks like I came at a bad time." But Jian told her, "Stop this drama. Your husband is sick and you're supposed to take care of him. But what can I say? You look like you married him for another purpose in your head. That's why you didn't have a wedding or even buy a cat." And that was it. They got into it, and the poor sick guy didn't know how to mediate between them. Then we flash back to the day of the accident and find that Sue's stepmother is the one who hit her mom with the car and ran away. Then she paid compensation money to her dad, promised him a good life for him and his daughter, and practically married him on top of the deal. Back at the company, Jian goes to Ju to apologize for her fight with his wife and asks him, "How could you forget my birthday?" He told her, "Sorry, busy like that." "Well, let's go out?" "No, sorry, I have a meeting." These are the new answers he's been giving since he got married. Regarding the bride, Sue entered on him, so he told her she would surely spend Valentine's with him. She told him, "No, sorry, I'm used to spending it with my friend, singles together, even if I'm not single anymore. And while you're at it, feel what it's like for someone to leave you and walk away." Here, our boy didn't understand why she was throwing shade at him. He went to his meeting with an old client and pitched his ideas. The man saw him as reckless and told him to be patient a little and not fight for everything. When she went out with her friend, she found her telling her to take care of her husband and not let someone like Jian come between them and gloat. So she sat drinking and told her she knows what she's doing. A few hours later, Ju found her friend bringing her home drunk. He took her from her and said, "What have you done to yourself, you disaster?" She told him, "None of your business, Eugene's guy." He tried to please her when he understood that all this was because she was jealous over him, and he, in his innocence, thought she really wanted to go out with her friend, and that Jean was just a colleague. Just as she was about to be convinced, Jean sent him a message saying, "I want to see you." Our girl, of course, flipped her face, but she relaxed immediately when he replied to her saying, "My wife doesn't approve." But clearly, Sue drank too much and was talking nonsense, trying to find any excuse to tell him, "You don't love me, divorce me, divorce me, divorce me." So he took her, and they finished Valentine's at home. Maybe she'd understand he doesn't love or see anyone but her. At that time, Jian was eating herself up and felt she lost Ju, so she treated him formally the next day at the company. From now on, the treatment will be like this. Anyway, later she assigned Sue work related to her family's factory, which was very heavy for her. Of course, she intended to bring her down, so she went to complain to her husband about the workload. He told her, "Don't worry, beautiful, I'll give you a half day off. Normally, I'm the manager." But my dears, they didn't get to enjoy it because they were summoned to go to the company immediately. There, they were holding a meeting accusing Sue of participating in her family's corruption. She asked them, "Why not my stepmother too?" But the woman turned out to have divorced her dad and removed herself from the whole conversation. So Sue also said, "I have nothing to do with it," and got out of the conversation Jin had involved her in. When they left the meeting, Jan told her she turned out to be sneaky, but she will be exposed eventually. Afterwards, Sue entered Ju's office, and he kept telling her he's got her back and will solve it. Then Jian entered on them with a flash drive containing a video of Sue at the bar. She didn't know what was in it, nor did Ju know what he would see. All Jian said was that he must see her true face. But our boy is loyal and doesn't wish scandal on his wife. He grabbed the flash drive and broke it before opening it, asking Sue to go. Then he told Jian he wouldn't believe any words said about his wife. However, Jian didn't stay quiet and went and recorded Sue and her father while she was telling him she entered the company to achieve her goals and that she was going to bring down the company president and marry him regardless of who he was. He told her, "Yeah, meaning you don't love Ju?" She told him, "What love are you talking about, father, after I saw the two woes?" At that moment, our boy, who was listening with her, couldn't hear anymore and left her and walked away. We know later that Jian had agreed with Sue's dad to sell out his daughter. What is this vileness, old man? Anyway, they both returned home and confronted each other with the facts that from the day at the bar, they were sober, not drunk, and intended to trap each other. Each one revealed their cards to the the other. Sue told him she doesn't forgive him for leaving her and running away the day he was kidnapped, even though he told her he did it for her own good. Plus, she knows he won't forgive her for deceiving him all this time, so she must leave the house, and they divorce. Indeed, she gave him the ring and left. He stayed thinking to himself and saw that he could get over her deceiving him, but he could never get over the idea that she doesn't love him. I swear, this is unlovable. How? Anyway, she left him singing, "She betrays you and never betrayed you," and went to hire a lawyer for her dad for the case Ju's company filed against him for her mom's sake. Nothing more. Then she remembered her marriage certificate was still at Ju's house, so she went back there at night to get it. But it didn't cross her mind that there would be a drunk and stoned guy watching her. But our hero saw him, kicked him out of the place, and ran to the house to find her inside with the marriage certificate giving him a divorce paper. He told her, "Divorce? I won't divorce. Do whatever you want." She understood she hired a lawyer to defend her dad in the case his company filed against him, and it's better they divorce instead of standing against each other in court. He told her, "Our case is winning, and you will lose money for nothing." She left him and walked away and didn't change her mind, so he went the next day to the board of directors and informed them he would drop the case. This, of course, is something Jian didn't like at all and made her transfer some of Ju's shares to herself behind his back. As for Sue's ex-stepmother, she sat with her ex-husband to give him a few shocks on an empty stomach, like that Lian is not his daughter but Ju's father's daughter who abandoned her. She went between Jian and threw her away too. And since he is a guy who sold his wife and accepted compensation, it was easy for her to marry him and exploit him, and he gets stuck with Lian. As for Sue, she found out her husband dropped the case and got her dad, who doesn't deserve it, out of prison. Her heart softened and swayed, and she went back to the house, put her ring back on, and called him telling him he is stupid and got himself in trouble with the management for her sake, and they basically are getting divorced. He told her, "Didn't I tell you divorce? I won't divorce. I won't hide from you." This conversation made her happy and worried at the same time. That's why when he came home and found her, she told him no one else cared about her after her mom died, and she doesn't find a reason for this. He told her, "Good morning, Sue. I've loved you since the beginning of the summary if you haven't noticed, and that's a strong enough reason for what I'm doing." When she asked him why he wouldn't tell her why he left her and ran, he told her he was little, and his shame from himself for not helping her was enough. She appreciated his feelings, forgave him, and they went back to relive the glory days. The next day at the company, the board pressured him and told him, "Since Sue's dad didn't turn out to be the corrupt one, go find us the one ruining our work." At that time, Sue stood by him shoulder to shoulder and was ready to help him this time, without malicious plans. Once, while they were talking, Jin sent her a message saying he wanted to see her. Our boy saw the message and made her write to him, "Sorry, my husband doesn't approve." But after that, she agreed with Ju to go meet him and see what he wants. She found him telling her he got scammed and wants to sell his shares to cover his loss. She told him, "Bless the hands of whoever scammed you. I swear he did us all a favor we won't forget." She told him she would think about the shares matter. She went home and talked to Ju, and he said, "Who refuses shares coming out of thin air?" They actually took the shares, but Ju didn't expect them to turn on him in the board meeting. Jin entered himself with documents signed by Ju, telling him he is the corrupt one they are looking for. At that moment, our girl Sue entered, coming in strong like in the movies, as if saying to them, "I'm coming to get my husband's right, you tyrants." Indeed, she entered and proved to them they were forging Ju's seal and that the corruption was basically done for Jin and Sue's dad's ex-wife. In the end, he kicked them all out of the company. But our hero turned out to be noble and handed the company management to Jian. After finding out, she transferred his shares to her and decided to live a happy life with Sue without the noise and disgust of businessmen. And with this chill ending, his summary is finished. We are waiting to know your opinion on it. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet and turn on the bell so you never miss the sweet summaries. Peace.